Yo, hey, what up? In this video, I'll show you how to make a filament runout sensor for your Anycubic Kobra NEO, this guy here. This is very specific for the Kobra NEO, the newer models. Because why am I making this video? I wanted to make a filament runout sensor for my machine that I have here. And I just couldn't find any real documentation for it online, and I figured might as well make a video about it if you're too struggling with this topic. So here we are, Anycubic Kobra NEO. Not the Kobra Go, not the Kobra Max, this guy. And the thing about this guy it has a mainboard, which is the trigorilla generation 3.0.6. It's this guy. And you see some videos when you type in Anycubic Kobra filament runout sensor, and you get those videos where they show you like, this is the one that you can buy, and you can just unplug something and put the connectors in there. But this video, it doesn't match up with this controller board here, which is kind of sad. And there's no real documentation for it, at least I haven't found any. So here we are, here we go. This is the controller board that you're going to be looking at. And the first thing you're going to find is some kind of STL file where you can print out. I mean, you do have a 3D printer. If you're watching this, you have that 3D printer. And the first thing you're going to need is some kind of printable STL filament runout sensor. And there's a lot of these online. I just took one from the Thingiverse, and I kind of edited it a little bit to fit to the machine. I'm going to show you some pictures in a second. And yeah, this is the one, and this is how it looks like on the machine. You know, it connects to the little spool holder up here. I printed out this rod, and that's the little box that contains the filament runout sensor, basically. To show you what that looks like is if I unselect that cover, you can see in here there fits like one of those momentary switches. Wait, hold on a second. Maybe I can tell you which ones they are, because I think I have them somewhere around here. If I can find that shit. Always so unprepared. Always unprepared. But yeah, here they are. Found them. Got them. They are labeled. You know these, man. They have this like a little roller on them, and they're labeled 10TB5. No, 10T85. Let's Google those guys up. 10T85 switch. Yeah, these guys. These guys go in there, and yeah. So I modeled mine around this switch, and it works beautifully. So this guy goes in here, and the filament, it runs through these two holes here, and then passes by the switch that kind of holds it down while it runs through. And if it runs out, click, it goes up, and Bob's your auntie, switch is off, filament is detected as run out. So how do you connect this thing? This is the easy part. You just go on Thingiverse and look up for some kind of filament runout sensor. There's really a ton of them, and then you kind of model it around a little bit and add the features that you like. For example, I added this little tab here to this design that I got off Thingiverse, and just added a little arrow and made it a little more cute. Right. One thing I did add as well is the bottom here. I added this chamfers and also made these holes so they fit those little threaded inserts. That's why I had them open here, you know? these little copper threaded, brass threaded inserts that you can just melt into there with an M3 screw. Yeah, those are the bomb, dude. Go get them if you don't already have them. Makes everything so much cleaner. I really like them. And yeah, this little hole is in there so you can, for ease of putting in the filament, if you get stuck in there or something like that, when it's closed, you can put a little pin in there and push down the button manually so the filament can run through. And yeah, that's pretty much it from the hardware side. You're gonna have to have a cable, and as you can see here on the picture, it runs down and around the machine all the way down to the bottom, where this is the back side of the machine. So it runs down here, and it runs down the right side of the printer because there's no rollers going in here. And then down here to the controller board on the bottom, there's just a couple screws. You can unscrew them, and then you're in. And what you're greeted with is going to be this beautiful board. There's going to be plugs and wires all around this. And I'm showing you this online because mine's already put together, and I don't really have a cool camera or anything like that. So I'm gonna make it like that. Probably it's cleaner, I think. Yeah, the connector you're gonna need though is this one, the green one on the bottom here. When you look here, there says is a Trigorilla Gen V 3.0.6. This is the one at least my printer came with. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be similar for you as well, if you have a fairly new version of the Anycubic Kobra NEO. And yeah, this is the one you're going to need. And it's pretty easy to do that. You just need wire and that aforementioned switch in a little cute box and a little rod that connects here. Also, by the way, I printed that little rod. Yeah, that's just a rod with 2 holes. And yeah, it connects here, as you can see, with a little M3 screw as well. And it lands kind of in the middle of the spool, so it goes through here and kind of wherever the spool is here, it kind of feeds through there neatly so it doesn't get wound up or something like that, or binding or something like that. Important to note here is that you connect this part in the back here quite tightly, but in the front you leave it a little bit of a wiggle room, and so you don't tighten the screw all the way, so it kind of has the ability to move when the filament or the print head moves around on top of underneath it. Then this is free to move and doesn't bind up or anything like that. Right, what was I going to say? Exactly, you have those the switch here and wires coming down, and you're greeted with this board. This is the connector. You plug in your cable. I didn't have one of these connectors here, so I just used those pin connector cables that you see on a prototype, on a proto board kind of type scenario, you know, where you have those female headers. And I just used 2 of those, crimped them on my cable, and put them in there. That worked beautifully for me. And to the wiring of the switch, you can hear it, I have one here. The wiring of the switch, that is actually important, because the controller of the Anycubic, the trigorilla board thingy controller, what's on there, its interrupt listens for a falling edge of the signal. So that means the switch is always closed, and as soon as you open it, it detects the falling edge of that signal, and then it breaks the print. And that means you have to wire up the switch in such a way that it is always closed when filament is running through it. So when this little tab is pressed down, the switch should be closed. So your multimeter should beep if you have a continuity thing hooked up there. I'm not quite sure anymore which one it was. I think it was the pin 2 and 3 that you had to use. I'm not so sure anymore. You should figure it out yourself. Just hook up a little multimeter. You'll find it out. Good. That's pretty much all there's to it. That's so cool about it. There's no code required. You don't have to do anything, change anything with the firmware of the controller. Just plug it in, test it out, maybe fidget around a little bit with your switch and like bend it a little bit so it's sensitive enough to realize that there's a filament going through it and not accidentally open or something like that, because that will pause your print and you don't want that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and peace out. Good luck. Write me in the comments if you successfully installed your filament runout sensor on your machine. Peace out.